Madara Uchiha is famous for humiliating his opponents during fights and even conversations, especially people he doesn't really respect very much. I mean, the character got insanely popular for how he essentially humiliated everybody he came across in such a charismatic way that's very cool. And today I thought, let's remember all this. Let's rank the 26 best times that Madara humiliated his opponents. One way or the other, either in the fight or in a conversation. Doesn't really matter, it's just humiliation all around. Number 26, when he used the 10 Tails' Cataclysm just because he got excited because he was gonna see Hashirama again. He didn't even intend for the 10 Tails to cause that level of destruction on the battlefield. He just felt Hashirama's presence on the other side of the continent when Orochimaru brought him back with the Edo Tensei, and Madara's sheer excitement made the 10 Tails go berserk and almost kill the entire alliance. Luckily for the alliance, Naruto used the 9 Tails' cloak to protect everybody. But you know, that's pretty humiliating. The guy doesn't even try to destroy everybody. He's just kind of happy because he's gonna see his friend/rival again and they're gonna get a good fight. And that's enough to essentially cause a world of trouble. Number 25, when Inoki used particle style on Madara, and Madara just kind of raised his hand, very casually absorbed it and said, "Have you gone senile, Inoki? Because this is not gonna work on me. I can't absorb ninjutsu." I just find it funny when Madara says things like that. Have you gone senile? It's kind of funny because, you know, Inoki is old. And he thought his jutsu was gonna work because Madara actually took a hit from his particle style before, but that's because Madara wanted to show Hashirama's face to the Kage, and I'm gonna get to that scene a little bit later here. Number 24, when Madara decided not to go after the real Naruto and the Nine Tails because he just wanted to test his new powers in the Deep Forest Emergence. Kabuto told him, "You know, this is the Jinchuriki right in front of you, but he's actually a shadow clone. We should go after the real one." And Madara said, "Nah, I want to test jutsu. It'll make for a prettier picture if there's more people around." And yeah, he doesn't care, man. We've got time here. We've got all the time in the world. Number 23, when Madara shows up to fight against every single tail beast at the same time with no eyes, he just kind of lands in front of the tail beasts. I mean, he's far away from them, but it's technically in front of them. But he lands on top of a random guy in the alliance just cuz. He could have landed next to him, he could have landed anywhere, but he chose to land on that guy just because I feel like stomping somebody quite literally right now. Poor guy, man. He got stomped. Number 22, when Madara used a jutsu that wasn't even his, the Wood Dragon, that, well, he got from his Hashirama cells, and he completely subdued Naruto's Kurama avatar, which was able to contend against several tail beasts at the same time, and Madara was just like, "Yeah, no, this jutsu is gonna contain you," and he was really casual about it, really. He wasn't even trying. I mean, he wasn't even trying for most of the series anyways, because otherwise people would get destroyed much faster. But it's impressive that Madara managed to contain the protagonist with a pretty casual jutsu. Number 21, when Madara shoots a 10 Tails Bijudama across the continent to destroy the headquarters of the Alliance, and also their brains, because Shikaku was coming up with the strats, and Madara wanted to put an end to it. And he just did that. And after he destroyed the headquarters, he just, you know, kind of snapped his neck. Yeah, it was pretty casual, just basic strategy, destroying the brains of the Alliance. Number 20, when Madara just comes by Kakashi and steals his Sharingan. You know, Kakashi, the guy that's known in the verse and also out of verse because he has a Sharingan, casually gets his Sharingan stolen by Madara just because he wants to enter the Kamui dimension. And to top all that, Madara uses Kamui in a way Kakashi was never able to. He couldn't Kamui himself into the Kamui dimension, but Madara obviously can do that because he is Madara Uchiha and he is built different. Number 19, when Madara lets himself get hit by Onoki's particle style just because he wants to show the face of Hashirama on his chest to the 5 Kage he's fighting to break their spirits. And he also says one of his coolest quotes in this scene, "You dance well, but your steps are still shallow." And just think about this for a second. He let himself get hit by one of the strongest attacks in the verse, even though he knew he was going to regenerate from it because it was an Edo Tensei, but still, just because he wanted to show Hashirama's face, and he knew Hashirama's granddaughter was among his audience, so that would be particularly mean. And you know, before that, he just kind of casually slapped all the 5 Kage with his Susanoo hand and made them all sleep. That whole scene was pretty humiliating for the Kage, and they thought, oh, we did it! We hit Madara! No, Onoki, he was just doing that on purpose. Chill. Number 18, when Madara casually engaged an entire army of ninjas in taijutsu, just, taijutsu alone, and was stomping them pretty hard. I mean, if you watch that episode, it's so much humiliation Madara puts on top of that. It's not in the manga, but like, he grabs a paper bomb from a kunai that a guy tossed on him, and then puts the paper bomb on somebody else and tosses the kunai back to the guy who tossed it to him, and then they explode, and then he does a lot of things. He's like stomping on people literally and figuratively. It's amazing, and also very humiliating for the entire alliance there. Number 17, when Madara casually blocks a mini Bijudama from KCM to Naruto, who attempted to blitz him, and Madara's just like, yeah, I'm gonna raise my fan, and I'm gonna shoot that right back at you, bro. Naruto with his new power-up KCM2, the protagonist, surely he'll do very well against Madara. No, that's the first thing Naruto tries against Madara when he shows up in the battlefield there, and he gets promptly destroyed by him. Number 16, and this is just a quote when Madara says, "Weakness disgusts me, and weak Senju disgusts me even more," when he's referring to Tsunade. That's just a cold line. Number 15, when blind Madara Uchiha without Sage Mode blitzes Sai, which, let's be real, is not that impressive, but also Sage Mode Naruto. Not a shadow clone, the real one on Sage Mode, and Madara was in base with no eyes, with nothing really, and he absolutely blitzed him and knocked him out with taijutsu alone. Let me remind you that Sage Mode gives you a lot of amps, including a durability amp, which Madara just bypassed with a kick. And yeah, that's the protagonist again. Madara really likes to humiliate the protagonist, which is cool. Number 14, when Madara brainwashed Obito into becoming edgy and serving him as a slave, essentially, for his entire life without knowing. That was very humiliating. I just wanted Madara to actually fight against Jubito in the end, because he kind of promised that fight. I mean, he mentioned it after Jubito was defeated already, but just imagine how cool it would have been for Madara Hazaneto to fight against 10 Tails Jinchuriki Obito, man. It would have concluded the entire humiliation, but that's okay. I suppose we didn't get the fight. Or didn't we? Well, perhaps we will. Stay tuned to the Naruto rewrite for that. Number 13, when Madara yanks the 9 Tails out of Naruto and almost kills him, if not for Minato giving the 9 Tails back to him. Actually, I mean, Minato gave the 9 Tails back eventually, but he actually passed it to Zetsu before, so Obito had to go and then give the 9 Tails to Naruto, but that's not important. What's important is that Madara almost killed the protagonist again. By removing the tail beast, you're gonna kill the Jinchuriki, and if not for the help of many people, Naruto would have died in that situation. Number 12, when Madara pretended Tsunade's punch actually defeated him so that he could sneak behind Tsunade and skewer her like a kebab. That was pretty funny, actually, the way she was skewered by the Susanoo sword, man. And then Madara kind of hoisted her up. It was just great. Would you like lamb or beef for serving 5th Hokage skewers right now? Number 11, when Madara arrives to fight alongside Obito against Naruto, Bee, Kakashi, and Guy, Naruto gets really angry because he knew Madara was fighting against the 5 Kage, so he's like, "Where are the 5 Kage? What'd you do to them?" And then Madara just kind of looks at the sign and says, "The 5 Kage, I think they're not doing so great." And then you cut to the 5 Kage, and they're all like spread on the ground, bleeding. He cut Tsunade in half. Actually, I don't think he even cut her. He probably used wood style to snap her in half, which is far more gruesome. The fact is that Madara casually obliterated the 5 Kage, who are supposed to be the 5 strongest ninjas in the world, the strongest for each nation. And the way he talks about that with Naruto, it seems like he doesn't even care, like, it's just another Tuesday for Madara, destroying the 5 Kage as though they're flies. Number 10, the first time Madara ever activates his Susanoo when he is fighting against the Alliance, and he is just punching and stomping and slashing with the massive swords and just slaughtering people, really. And while doing so, he's just, arms crossed, right in the middle of the Susanoo. He's not even moving, he's just kind of looking around, seeing where he has to attack, but he himself is not moving, which is pretty humiliating. Like, they're doing their best to try and do something against his Susanoo, and he's just, nah, they don't really have to make, a big effort here to destroy you guys. It's alright. Number 9, when Madara decides to win the fight against the 5 Kage because he got bored. So the entire fight against the 5 Kage, Madara wasn't taking it seriously. He was trying to test his new powers, and also he was curious to see how powerful the current 5 Kage were, but he wasn't taking it seriously. So much so that most of the fight he was crossing his arms and not really fighting against the 5 Kage directly. But then after Itachi dispelled the Edo Tensei and therefore Madara's perfect Susanoo fizzled out, Madara got bored and he thought, okay, I have to deal with them right now, and he kind of lost interest in the fight because he found it kind of unfair that Itachi kind of messed up his fun there, and if he showed his perfect Susanoo for the second time, he would be disgraced because everybody that sees the perfect Susanoo once dies, except for Hashirama, I suppose. So yeah, he got bored and decided to win the fight, and he did so. And before he re-engaged the 5 Kage, he actually looked up with a very bored expression and just said, "So sad," because the 5 Kage were not really a challenge for him. Number 8, when Madara Uchiha was fighting against Might Guy with the 8th gate activated, and he was just having the time of his life, screaming at Guy saying, "Yeah, let's do it, bro! This is so much fun! Never had this much fun ever since I fought Hashirama!" And the guy was being helped as well by Minato, Kakashi, Gaara, and also Rock Lee. And I mean, Madara, he was having fun, man, and Guy was giving everything he had. He was giving his life to win that fight. It was the most important thing ever, and Madara was just having the time of his life, just having a good laugh. So much so that Madara lets Guy charge his Night Guy, and he just stood there and took the hit like a champ. It didn't even try to do any countermeasures or anything. It was just like, let me see how powerful this kick's gonna be, because that's gonna be cool. And then when he got hit by the Night Guy and half of his body exploded, he started to laugh and say, "Oh, you bastard, you almost killed me. That was so much fun." Number 7, when Madara used the Infinite Tsukuyomi and trapped the entire world population except for Obito, Sakura, Kakashi, Naruto, and Sasuke in a divine wood-style jutsu. I mean, this is pretty powerful. He literally soloed the planet in a few seconds here, except for Team 7, as I said before, but it's very humiliating to, lose to a guy collectively as a planet. Number 6, when the 5 Kage were whining about Madara being strong, and then Madara said, "Oh, after all, you're the 5 Kage, I should take you very seriously, shouldn't I not?" And he wasn't very serious when he said that. But then Mei said, "Oh, don't get me wrong, you are Madara Uchiha, that's why we have to fight 5 against 1 against you." And then Madara was just like, 5 against 1, that seems like a very good number to have some fun. And then he created 25 wood clones, 5 for each Kage, and then he just casually asked the Kage, "Would you like the clones to use Susanoo or not?" One of those very classic, iconic Madara moments where he is so far above his opponent that you just feel for the 5 Kage, really. What can they do, man? I mean, they technically did pretty well against the 25 Susanoos, but eventually, well, they got pretty annihilated. Number 5, when Madara casually tossed 2 meteors on top of the 4th Battalion of the Alliance, killing around 20,000 people in a couple of seconds. And just to make things even more humiliating, he let Onoki and Gaara think that they actually stopped the first meteor, and then he was just looking up, kind of impressed. "Oh, Onoki, he can fly, and he can also stop meteors now. That's pretty cool. He got very useful." And then he just casually says, "So, Onoki, what are you gonna do about the second one?" And that's when the second one appears and everybody dies. It's great, it's iconic. Classic Madara, am I right? Casually tossing meteors down his opponents and humiliating them in the process. Number 4, when the 5 Kage almost cornered Madara with a pretty clever strategy, he just pulls out his perfect Susanoo, which is the size of a pretty large mountain. And, I mean, that's really humiliating. He first unsheathes his sword, and just the shockwave that's caused by it, it cuts through mountaintops miles and miles away from the battlefield itself. The only thing the 5 Kage could do really was to gawk and wonder, oh, how did Hashirama fight against him? So Nari's like, my granddad, he fought against this thing, is that real? Because really, after Madara used the perfect Susanoo there, the 5 Kage, they were paralyzed, they couldn't do anything, they were just, you know, I surrender, I give up, it's fine Madara, you won, that's fine, that's alright. And then when he was about to actually kill them all with a slash of the perfect Susanoo sword, then Itachi dispelled the Edo Tensei and the Susanoo fizzled out, so the 5 Kage got really lucky there. But it is fun, I mean, he just pulls out this one jutsu and then he says, yeah, the 5 Kage, they're nothing compared to me. I mean, if you show me something that you have that can make me, you know, do something against this, I'll probably reconsider this, but clearly, you did your best, and your best is not even close to being enough, 5 Kage. I'm so sorry. Number 3, Madara's fight against every single tail beast. Now this fight, I mean, I guess you could say there are more humiliating moments in the fight between Madara and the 5 Kage, but that's because that fight's actually long. The fight against tail beast didn't last very long, and this is one of the reasons why it's so humiliating. That's why it's so high up on the list, because this fight starts with Madara blind. He doesn't have eyes, and he's an Uchiha. Uchihas are known for their ocular prowess, and Madara was fighting without eyes. He's confident enough that, I mean, these things can't do anything against me, even though I'm blind, so I'm just gonna jump there and see what happens. Actually, the beginning there was a little rough. They landed several punches on Madara, and then Naruto and B arrived. But then White Zetsu came and gave Madara one of his Rinnegan. And then, yeah, that was it. The fight was done by that point. He summoned the Ghetto Mazo, and then he was just like, Obito and his Akatsuki thing, they took what? 15 years to collect every single tail beast and failed because they didn't even get the 8 and the 9 tails? That's pretty pathetic. Actually, it was more than 15 years. It was like 19 years in Naruto Shippuden. So Madara says, yeah, I'm not gonna take that long. I'll take a few seconds. That's all I need, man, because these tail beasts are not that big of a deal. He even tells it, so yeah, don't put me on Obito's level, I'm not gonna take years to do that. And then Madara casually uses Rinbo, Rengoku, and BAM! Every single tail beast is knocked out in a matter of seconds by a single punch of the Limbo clone. And then he collects all of them, very easily, including the 9 tails that he extracted from Naruto, which I mentioned before already. And I mean, this is not just humiliating for the tail beasts themselves who got defeated in seconds by this guy, and he just had to give him a quick glance with his eye and they were done because the Limbo Clone just took care of them all. It's also humiliating for the Akatsuki. These 10 so-called extremely powerful individuals took 20 years or so to collect every single tail beast, and they failed because Obito had to revive the 10 tails with just a fraction of the 9 tails and Tails' chakra, and Madara, one dude, this one guy has to just give a quick glance to the tail beasts, and they're all done, man. Number 2, when Madara absolutely curb stomps Tobirama off screen. I have to say, this one is very satisfactory. Tobirama is the worst human being in the Naruto-verse. Every single problem in the Naruto-verse was caused by Tobirama. He was by far the worst Hokage. So seeing Madara casually destroying him off-screen, because Tobirama doesn't even deserve screen time, is so satisfactory. It's so delightful. I love seeing Tobirama being humiliated. The best moment is when Tobirama is pinned down by all those Rinnegan rods on the ground. And then just because Madara can, he grabs another Rinnegan rod and tosses on Tobirama's face. It's so nice! Hell yeah! Suck that, Tobirama! Let's go! He's the GOAT! Madara's the GOAT! Number 1, and I almost put Tobirama's on number 1 because it's much more satisfactory, but number 1 is more humiliating because it's done to one of the main characters. It actually happens right after Madara humiliates Tobirama. It's when Sasuke tries to sneak behind Madara when he jumps off his eagle, and it's not an eagle, it's a hawk, but whatever. And then, you know, he's flying, you know, trying to get Madara from behind and all that. Madara doesn't even look at Sasuke, and Sasuke freezes midair. The second most important character gets paralyzed, and he can't do anything about it. And really, even if he tried to shoot an Amaterasu, for example, that wouldn't be effective because Madara would just absorb that. So while Sasuke is completely paralyzed midair, he doesn't understand what the hell is going on. It's a Limbo clone that's actually restraining him there, but you know, he didn't know that. Madara casually grabs Sasuke's own sword that Sasuke was going to strike Madara with and pierces Sasuke's heart with it. Now that's pretty cool, and that's very humiliating. I mean, Madara didn't do anything to defeat Sasuke, really. He just stood there, as he does a lot of the time. You know, he just stands there doing practically nothing and defeating people regardless. But this one was especially humiliating because Sasuke is usually a guy that humiliates a lot of people. He tends to do that too, but now the spell's turned against him and he is absolutely curb stomped by Madara in a very quick and humiliating fashion. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, and also please like this video to help me with the YouTube algorithm. It takes 2 seconds, so before you leave, do that for me. Also, watch this other cool Naruto video right here, and thank you so much for watching, guys.